Quyền mất tất cả này thì là phải đọc gì.
Kan lele don mitirawo. Hello yan. Kan udah cihan itu suam ketika energy crash ketika lunch break cihan hello ni pengen untuk cucian. Din han cho lỡ hết cái cảnh trong cái cảnh trên đây là sẽ ta chuẩn bị kan cho một cái chỗ béo mấy cái mà xe qua đi xe cảnh trên là trong hoa khai my teaching skills so far yeah I will start right music illustrating with examples again. Kapag silsiyan na rin din ng mga example, mga silsiyan sa kantiway, kakatakan, example po, kasi siya kaunti yan dito ka. And then, relevant examples there. Relevant, interesting, okay, so interesting daw, mas relevant niya, okay po, kaya simple example po, okay, simple daw, mas interesting niya, silaw, kaya sige po, example po ka. Asyang siya nga ulit niya, zipit ko dito ang aspect of kami kaso Chuan questioning ni po yung mo ito ba ni Chuan zipit ko kanti Chuan no pangte questioning kanman ngayon niya kanman tingnan lian pero in order to test the pupils' understanding kami halfway mo nito at san so zipit to in teach mo mula class kan lang mo mula zirlai te kha kan ngai to kha nga yan so zirlai te kha dan thil zirdir kha an che kya men me an lo che kya me a lo ni kha ka test chuan an ingin di hang din bina nge an din lo sa ka sha chuan we need to test their understanding with the help of questioning kami kha apoi mo lu to questioning skills di zirdir ko te yang kan nei cha ngai le ban ni chu chan chu ni zo na kan zo ta zo na ka zo ka zo te Una pozo na kazotione, mase zona zodan kiam real zirtir tu le zona zodan kiam ba zirtir tu te kazu no pangte na an respondan khala dang de ni tutin zona kazota min changa kata nge ni a response ka manage da na zirkan ni le ye a in connect ka ni to questioning le response management le reinforcement le ni pa Tal object which action like skill kan mas don any ye dan so kan so zona is ota is zona than to respond in how do you respond their answer more so he respond dana se panin ye no kontakan next next activity da ka ye itin kuna itin kuna ka visual equation na answer yan linear linear and response management so yung model tutan ito questioning le response management reinforcement skill po yung model dito dito puti na kan kaya nga yan yung manitan ito chuan questioning yan chuan in yes questioning yan in here, these are some of the explanation of questioning skills. It is used to gain more information, and it is used to ensure that students are attentive and engaged. Unattentive engagement and teaching learning akan lekin itu kan zilai ni. Apa yang mau buka questioning hi tuan, nanti nak kasih itu assess students' understanding. Zilai ni an share ni yang notice na kan kaya buka. Tuan ini, hei, so asyik nanti mazor ni maya. Tuan oi mo ta de chu questioning kan han ti hian in there can be 3 types of questions. 0 te hian zo na kan zo le hian kan question level a khat chi 2 minutes a chen chan le te ta ni chu ama sabta chu lower order question hi zo na hiam bera ni ta lower order kan question kan han ti hian chuan knowledge and memory level question kan han ti chi kha entinan when did India got independence kan ti 1947 kan dia 0 te ka 0 lai te khan a memory a lo da to kha recall me ka memory level a question ka zo ti na ni chu chuan memory knowledge and memory level question kan han ti ho kha tia nga hei recall nei the kan lo sha to sa recall nei the sha thia ngai em lo chi zo na kan zo ho kha memory or knowledge level question kan han ti chu ni ta ni chu hei ni sha thia ma and what is the definition of verb, what is the definition of education, what is the definition of psychology kan han ti ang chi ho zero lai te na a bai ha ta a reproduce le mai the record the more reproduce the more mga zona a chan the mai ho ang kha knowledge or memory level question kan han ti kha ni ta and it is labeled as the lowest level of questioning mo kha ni ta ni chu chuan next is the middle order question chuan middle order question kan han ti a khan chuan in it nge amami ai khan lo sang shata ta chuan in it is the type of questions that ask pupils to apply non-techniques or rules to solve problems. So, heta hian chuan a thil lo thiam ko sa te kha a hriat thiama a apply thiam na a apply thiam le thiam lo zo na ang chi ho kha those are the middle order questions. Chuan in kemi hi chu atakin an mangtang kai thiam mem an chi thiam tak tak em ti va test na ang chi zo na khan nei indina example a chuan in comprehension level question a khan chuan in explain the process of digestion heta hi chuan in recall te memory level le chang lo khan enge ni chan thei lo na chen da rom chan chu explain the process of digestion kha with some basic understanding of khangai ben to come so na chang thiam to khan chuan in entinan what are some words which are commonly used as adjectives entinan zirtir tu in entinan some adjective chen khat the example la pia ma se khami pia la ma what are some words which are commonly used as adjectives zona explain like ka example pe la adjectives dang te khan min han shil te u ka ti khan chuan zir lai te khan adjectives am se kha sha thiam lo chuan adjectives example kha pe thiam lo rong ni sha thiam lo kha thiam te khan mid comprehension level question kan han thiam chi te application level question based on your knowledge what statistical procedure is appropriate for this problem and you know thil an lo zir ta mathematical problems te an lo zira statistics te an lo zira khiam khanin for statistical procedure the khange he problem a hian applicable ang he thil chona hian formula de khange apply thiang tiang si te kha kalo zo khan zila te kha o mi na man thiang o media na man thiang tiang si kha lo ti tang se that means that student have some basic understanding of that concept. Katiang si the kang ho ka comprehension and application level question kan han ti example ako katiang si ka in law katiang mga these are middle order questions. More chuan in higher order questions kan ti ta higher order questions kan han tiang si ho ni chu questions that ask pupils to go beyond what they know. The unshared thiamna pialama critical thinking and man theina turang chi question kan zo khan I higher order question to la so kan boy pui to lu to hot kan tia zirlai te kon ni kum high school level ma te ko hot sarong kal tam lu to ka an te ss te po an ma I zirlai pu ami lo question lo set an understanding hey critical thinking and man theina tur ta an chi a question lo ka khan an boy na lu ta an complain sup te khani tu ma ko mo class 10 the SS question come and say higher order questions kan han ti ang ho hi mun la ya chan zo tam mai do zo kan tu zir lai a chan chu thil knowledge and the information kan be chumi zo chuan in an understanding te apply dan te an shan huwa khami achun khan akhoi khange tha la comparison te analyze te thiam more evaluation level la tak tak khan zin lai te khan then hui chuan khan critical thinking kha produce zone and it's in a higher order question kan hanti khachu reflective level of teaching atan khan ne khan in relate ni chu chuan in understanding level teaching kan ti khachuan it is connected with the middle order questions chuan lower order questions kan hanti khachu memory level teaching kan hanti practical in relate in connect bezel ni chu chuan if the teacher's teaching is in a reflective level of teaching. The questions that can be asked could be higher order questions. Critical thinking class lecture paper train higher order question questioning questioning need a point more to question so question kan zota zero line the question kan zota chuan miss zai the mikha question kan zota aro changa o churo kan ti le ngot ta ni chu shi ya alo chang dikka chang dikke mo chang diklo en ko kan ni se o churo ke ngot ta zero tu khan kami ka kata khan zero line te khan achan dike mo achan diklo emo ani lo kon ati change ti chalo kha ama khan emma ni ai che pe do lo ni te ro khan tiang kha zero tu chuan ban ti lo tok tu ran ta ni chu mi ni ba chuan den china ko khanin questioning kan ti le reinforcement kan ti te response management te ni ai ko ne kan ti na chu zero tu te chuan question kan zo in meron chan le na kha in tia respond tu nge tia kha kan in what sang nge yang ai chuan chumi ni lo ko alo chan ti chuan ting nge ka reinforce ang achan chu behaviorist ho chuan han soi le ta chini la behaviorist learning theory a chuan in actions which is rewarded is likely to happen in the next time also. So in the an action to say which is rewarded. No pang ako nan niluto kan na sa temi. No pang ako til alo tithaya ama in as na malo kutita. O iban tiame men bote kantia reward emo acknowledgement of the kantuanin that kind of behavior is likely to happen in the next time also continue. So tiang jia chuan misai the kan question kalo zo ta lo chang ta ni zo yes very good again the kalo ya feedback ka reinforcement ka khanin khami zo na chan dika reward adon khan chuan zela khanin natin zela ko chan le kha cha don umza chu action which is rewarded is likely to happen in the next time also on the behavior is so chuan so umza chu kan behavior ti anani lei thlen ni chu control thlen ni chu achan chu ingeni kan tu lo ti kan show chuan in it is not likely to happen in the next time also no pagin ko na ko han ni cha kan punish chuan next time kha behavior kha associate ko chuan reward kan pe chuan kha behavior ko kha next time show ni kha cha khatiang cha kan zir lai classroom hom te ko yan ni achan dika zir tir tu zo ma chuan khata reward ta pe ka reinforce chuan in kha next time khan tu cha ka tin ka dolo zo ma se ka share tu negative verbal reinforcement hi zir tir tu ten man sham kan tum don ya positive verbal reinforcement o achalu tu iban tiang de chang dik cha ka khatiang ho kha positive verbal reinforcement kan han ti khan ta chuan negative verbal reinforcement kan han ti chi ho kha hey chang dik lo khatiang lo ve an ti han tiang chi in bo sai chalo mi ga ti ron zir ve lo mo chang dik lo se mai kan han tiang chi ho te ka hey negative reinforcement an so ka an chi ho ka chu we as a teacher we have to avoid those type of negative verbal reinforcement as much as possible kan ti lo thai shaman chuan a chazo chu ka han soi chuan or response management kan han hian chuan in question hi kan han zo hian more response management kan han tia ko hian a components hi la hi om ve che wa ni chu when a teacher asks questions to his class different situations arise zo na ka zo phat kanin situation tak tak kha om the ni chu ka expect do pe ka expect do te ko ni the kan tinan a chang chuan zir lai ta khan respond kha min pe mi a lo the kan moi chu class kha de ma kha I thil ka lo zo ta ni chu so define the uses of AI te ka lo ti ta zir again explain the uses of or the importance of AI te ka lo ti ta zir lai te khan lo chang the lo me ken lo oi chwak me the ya chuan kha ta khanin chu khang ang situation a khan zir lai te chang khan respond kha mi a lo ta ni chu and sometimes pupils may give incorrect responses a chang chuan they give answers, but the answer is not completely correct. More common situation and sometimes the pupils may give partially correct responses. So sometimes they give partially correct responses, and sometimes correct responses. So those are the different situations that may arise after we ask questions to a class. So these type of situations can happen in our classroom, and if suppose the second one, yes, the first one, if the pupils give no response, what will you do, sir? Let the sir respond alone kan mi alo question kan lo chang kan mi alo ta ni sin lang kan she lo tin na kha or an shia an chang za te ko ni ya kuma khan an lo chang ngam lo or an lo chang ke lo ta ni chu en fi ye ta ya ka lo ni ta se ko ni ya
a chang chori khami question la kha a complex de ni easy de a khit ke tu ra kha ka so ka safe ka zo khili ya chi a so
simple doing yes, very good. So if they give incorrect responses kind of the time, they are probably and think in teaching that and is over. So I think in teaching. Very good. So it's having Jeff and try and let them here. And risk and there more. And ringo let the book teaching the so incorrect responses and as well in yes.
From my experience, I just want to share something.
Yes,
when
go on.
Students give incorrect responses, I think as a teacher, we should not criticize them. That demotivates them further and they start not asking questions anymore.
Yes.
So it's important whenever they give incorrect response, we should appreciate that they have given a response, and we can say things like that. Yes, you may be correct in this context, or something like that, and then we can give the correct response, share the correct response.
Yes, that was a very good practice. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experiences. So, so there are some situations when the students give incorrect responses. So again, motivate them. So was it negative verbal reinforcement because if you could come and classroom? Please, can you please guess it again, or what we have to simplify the question. More commissar so that can let us and share we have to simplify the question. And when the pupils may give partially correct response and try challenge there and bring challenge there and this challenge there at the chair or so correct response and we have to give positive verbal reinforcement. kami apa jadi tu kami nama kan ini ni turan verbal reinforcement positive sih. Kamu tuan kan pek kau apa kan anda orang tuan prompting dia apa separa if the pupils give no response and tuan as a teacher we have to prompt if ngeliat incorrect or no response ang reng kan prompt orang ni. Jadi jangan prompt itu sarkan kan simplify mo ani logo na question kan di sana katiang kanin prompt ni itu orang ni question kan tuanin hints kan pera yang kan chat yang pera tu kan simplify orang ni question kan an chan mi alam chuan mo incorrect an ni mo an chan mi alam in an atem mi alavin chuan ab detail zero han lowa hey kita han example lo in chinta ula who looks after the local administration of the city la han kita local administration ha tutan ni en call kan han chuan ni zero like kan an lo shelawa no response lo ni kan example la chuan zero to kan an shelo ashan huwa kasan alright who makes provisions for clean water, street lighting, construction and repairing of roads in a city. Aron break down the time so a question aron simplify ta katiana ni kansuan hey no pangkan idea kalo ni ta municipality karo ta question ni karo more answer the karo cheka ta flanin allow correct ta ka bangkanin positive verbal reinforcement ka ta cheka katiana kan ni engkima question a chanting lo kon positive verbal reinforcement kapan kera ngai lo thun chumo questioning le adik lo ko khakan lo yan derivat kan lo pe za kha cha fu lo tan chumo chuan seeking further information ni questioning skills up ni poi mo le ta mo chu ni a chuan so if the answer given by the students are incomplete or partially correct the teacher needs to use seeking further information or skill. If ziptir tutan zona kalau zota an chana ka incomplete emo ala dikluanting lo chuan zero like ka adite zo adik zo turin seeking further information skill is ziptir tutan adik na ka kan ba ku ha kami ka kan ba zo zu kan ba chu zu ko ran din tan mo chu kami ka kan ti turin ta chuanin hey example le ta kan soi zo man om si lo mo he chu ni lo cha don ya ni chu ngen ni abo kha don so redirection ni poi mo lu tu bok ta this technique involves asking the same question to another people to increase more and more people participation entina na questioning kan ti han ze tu nami poni practice thebe thowa karin chu do not ask the students roll number wise. Roll number 1, 2, 3. She didn't practice the sham ni say joining before you ask students or you point out the students. Please pose your questions first. And you know the questions will you pose patang. So who is the president of India? Who is the prime minister of India? So you let them think the students first and then call out the roll number or call out their name. So atsan suong siya to tuna shoya dingte kalau ditaya sorry tak example lain shoya dingte kalau tiana ingin man ni alam nervous hey no bang zoom de ule kalau ni tuyo nervous ma mo ita abdinga nga chuan question ko ala siya makan pagdito sa chuan show mo don chuan zoom chi ten lo ni pizan kami makan question ka i-post patang who is the president of India so think about it katiang chuan chumizo chuan nang remi do you know the president of India kaya kha izo nakha izo patang chumizo allo ingai perfect ngala chuba ka point he so shoya ka izo don ya sha chuan heta sar re mate sar tu te example sala late so chuan sar fakate tiang kha an lo in ring to lawang shwaya so don chu zo don lo ti kha mase khami private na ta kha question post pa ka na chu zo in ready te ka mental readiness ha in telen is a question post in sakhan mo so the question is what thot na chu zo an minge mo an ron number ko to cha la an hi she lo ni kon ka kha khami kha ti chau tu chuan direction hian kan soi kaya redirection chu I zo na kha kan tinan pakhat kha elo so to ta ni anlo in ring vek to pakhat elo so to ta shwai lo kyam lo ta chumi om redirection ni za chu athyam lo khan mare mi a ka redirection mare mi ka ba so ta mare mi lo sha lo chuan heta faka ka redirection ni chu so redirection ni za chu heta kal pa don ti na ni sumo chuan chuan hi lo ta refocusing hian refocusing ni kan ti thayom tu ka kan ti thele ko kan ta refocus an ja chu zero like ten use when people's response is correct more chan na digin lo ta ni so na ba zo ta chan na digin lo ta this involves comparing that phenomena in his response with other phenomena for similarity difference or relationship between the two situations. Kami akan chuanin kami zona ka an chang dik to na se I zona an chang dik to aba khan I refocus ni kan chuanin kami related to awm asalun o sam do sha tiang da chuan kami related to zona in hai to si kami topic related to in hai si kami ga an thiam le kan ba zo le na do khan ni le focus na tu chumo chu lo ta ha chuan yes increasing critical awareness sai ni chu apoi mo thawa ti lo ga ma ro kha questioning big chu lo ta le chuan tuna kan big enforcement le I response management kan le zwa ya ga le senten na kan don ya kan link to em sel tu khala tamre o ya o boy ka reinforcement ki apoi mo lu bu ka ni chu reinforcement kan han ti khan chuanin let's say reinforcement means encouraging a student to repeat a desired behavior by giving a response or reward after the behavior happens. Behavior behavior po ano show ta khatyan kha show le tura kan du'a desired behavior kan encourage kha reinforcement sun to a skill kha le ta positive verbal reinforcement is not so no to positive verbal reinforcement positive si how kan ta chuan positive verbal reinforcement that chuan using words and phrases repeating and rephrasing using pupils idea in the development of the lesson using extra verbal cues using prompts these are the components of the skills under positive verbal reinforcement. So these are the examples of positive verbal reinforcement. Positive verbal reinforcement how to very good excellent answer, well done, that's right, good thinking you explained that clearly, nice work, keep it up, I like the way you solved that problem. Hey, in such a way, no pang lo chang dikta kami chana kan ba hi timen yang kan ba pek thin ho kan ba fak na chong ka ho kha positive verbal reinforcement ho khan ta he ni ziltir tu kan ni chan man she lo tur ni kan mang she tak kan on mi ba ho khan pe che ho chu atla ko ni mang ka ringa in mang na sayang man na sa kare lo ti zel kula khami khanin hey thil re chu a psychology behind hi on zel ta ni chen ti nge mang tu ra min ti kan ti chuan china kan ti bo kan reward kan acknowledge behavior even next time machine to han show and chak chinan ni chen tina che de ko sorry kalau thau ta ni kalau in dai deu ta chuan even che em tu nai thin ti chuan hi motivation kha ma in dai che ta chak an he workout te se tiang ko kin cigarette ke tum te po even car kha ta hi to ta khami kha kan lo reward te kan lo acknowledge pe kha ama khan motivation no ma ti zel khan chak chin che tiang ko tiang de khan in behavior kan acknowledge ve ren in no pa ma ko ni an show chak chin chu chu zel te tu ko khan sing da in kan man khan ve khan ai ni chu kan lo pang te amo chuan hey chu example maybe ya in shebe to thawanga tiang de khan kan man thei dan kha example in kan ro show chuan positive non-verbal reinforcement hi le ta ni chu verbal positive reinforcement thoma se verbal la kan ko soi chwa kher lo I che zia ma kan ti lan thei kham le ta ni chu ho chu by giving gestures facial expressions and actions kha kha je ti tu khan kan mang chang kai the ni chu. So here we use body language example or gestures, facial expression kan han tiang ho ka kan mang ta chuan he ho chuan in kan man thei ho chu smiling te po executive tu te na anlo min lo noi sang khan chuan in kan hei ke mani khan mo kan tin te ro chuan in nodding the head kan han tin te an chan dik chuan lo bung ho an chan lo lai ko ni se lo ha lo bung ho te and clapping hey zo na kan lo zo tan lo chan dika chuan in kut kan han bet sak ang chi te mo class te po kan lo ben tir shin hi chuan thumbs up gesture kan han tiang chi te chuan patting the students on the shoulder he chu kan ti shadow lek china nga patting on the back te patting on the shoulder tiang chi te he chu ate de wa apply the de me thei ni we think a chan it's sometimes awkward mo a little bit awkward and de ka chan maintaining positive eye contact kan han tiang chi te mo eye contact kan siam te chuan in no panglam pang de wa chuan giving a star or sticker kan han tiang chi te chuan in writing a tick or star mark on the board or notebook kan han tiang chi kha zong zong kha chong chuang ni si lo wa gesture te facial expression mang te a no pang te an cushion an chan dika kan reinforce thei dan ani chumo chuan take a important say negative verbal reinforcement ho hi chu kan hong don chang lo man tu kon ni lo wa ma se ve ni ti khalo she ve shim mula chuan wrong use of reinforcement hi ve le thei ta ni chu until a very simple questions are po na salut tu ka reinforce kha ngai lo ni chu hey zona a hardan te a complicated a zirte khan zirtir tu khan eng type of reinforcement ne kan man don ti ku thya shan bi na indian what is the capital of India ti kha BA ate MA ate lo zota New Delhi ya kha very good de kha ngai lo che thya le chan chu an ta ka chen diam to lu tu ma se ni hei pol khat te pol ni te chni se kha an ta ka chen la sang de ta ka tiang deuh khan kan reinforcement kan bung tu kha zirti tu kan ni chan ka shat kan le kha nga ya kan man tu ka ka shat ya ka kan ni chu hei ni bui ting le kin ni kha chuan in reinforcement kan ti do a stimulus variation the thing how does the question is kan response management le response management kan so ya na kan ha ko yin ba ti ba kan san ti do ila 130 do na one classroom management ti do me so if there may be more stimulus variation here and one sa hokta cái gì tiêu được trả lại thiam đâu đấy cho anh mong thiam được cái này stimulus variation here mà ông giờ cái là cho anh stimulus variation là cho anh thì hey, to change different teaching behavior during a lesson in order to maintain students' attention and interest. We are finding that so. So stimulus variation kan ki so gesture, the facial expression mang there, katiang kan movement mga kan class kan control them o kan explain na kan fan wa bel kan pati bel up katiang si stimulus variation no so nita ha so hey yang kawan here components entilan stimulus variation skills no ya so movement kan hanti te gesture kan hanti te yang ang hau zong ang movement kan hanti ako ki hey chen khat chu zilti chen khat chu hetilaya lecture hunga soi char dan hey yan so the meaning of yang si de wang kha yang ka au the ni chu ni dia men chu hoi po hoi cha mang lo khan abu kha atia pe chan textbook kan lo hang ta hoi cha mang lo kha kan chia cha te da ani lo pon slide PPT kan ni pon PPT and ngar what must in order to have a very good classroom management the teacher sometimes need to move around the class kami khanga ni chu ama physical in classroom ma akal kwa chu ko shan ni se ama shim akut le ake ya din den chu ani no man chu je ya le ke ma ko hi lo ti hianin da ka thum ti han ding le ni mo ta ni mo pe lo ka ta de khan ta chu bang chan na ma ni ko khan classroom ma khan tin movement ni achang ka na em chu class hetlaya chungan lo thei hetlaya chungan lo thei ama chungan lo thei so in order to have a very good classroom management skill the teacher has to solve the problem in that area that problem is actually happening kami akhangai hetlaya changa sotilaya beng changka iwa control tu chuan control zo do ting zo lo fo wa mi che ta mem甚至按楼梯step step按楼梯去路 step step 啊，kami ka college 啊，当然你讨厌，按算中美美群讨厌，按中美美那不啦，就看 explain 个，你不搞当啦，算 kami 中他说阿瑞不老关一个来算，按人的嘢呀，你去看没？算 ding 个不按算 movement 嘛，entunan classroom. Kalau kuat tu tuition, makni tak sejauh po kami kan movement mengkan classroom kan control tadi kakak kan zero dene zero kaca tuan gesture kan itu gestures shang kaum hey meter gesture hey my facial expression shang kaum ini siapa yang kakak nak mali lo entah lah tuan changing speech pattern kan dia monotonous tone ini normal itu acangin sometimes we need to use a low tone or sometimes we need to use a higher tone more. And till na to na kasoita, poi mo like a stress to big ang si, poi mo katilaya to at tone te masang te. Hey, tone ngai ba chu kan mu ta chong ni, anin no man chu te ro kha ta do kan pattern kha, achangin rang shet, achangin mong shet, achangin yam shet, achangin sang shet. Lai yan chuan tiang chi de wa thai han khuk te ko kha chang chuan ngai chi na ni chu tiang de khan chuan changing interaction style kan han di chu chang ka soya chang le zo nei zo ta nga zui lai nan chang nga khami kha a style kha change to ra ni zir ti to na soi ran to ra ni ra ni chan chu a bai kha no kon ta na boring chuan in gestural focusing kan ti chang ka lo explain du ta or thil poi mo de poi mo lai ka lo soita it is very important kan hanti ang si dewa hey gesture mga hey stress ang si kha chuan posing kan hanti ang si te po posing no pangan kasoi mo la no pangan bencheng tu ka pose thu ta no pang khanin they will ngeli thengong na pe ka zil tu su atong ta ni ang la intianga normal in practice to training karen namni pon ini anben chen tu tu in ngoi tu ta di kan ini theng ti khan ron ngai na chuan kha tiang post deuh zet te kha pui lo classroom kha ti khan classroom management cha kha um theya chuan oral visual switching kan han ti hi chu achang I soi mo lo la chang teaching aid simang le china ra kha tiang chi khan ni oral to visual which is nan ma en thik to mang chi kha ka ho kha is stimulus variation te po hin man thiam chuan a thalut tu ka ni chu skill ho hi mo chu ho chu anita tu na kha soi mai kha closure kan soi vak lo wa chuan classroom management po kan soi vak lo wa ma se kha kha chu at soi vak se lo wa lesson kan na kan kal do na mat khani chi na khan soi tu kan nei ya ni lo kon do do ani lo kon engi mo tal hey han shia de do mo po kan ya chu kan ho kan kun na ki kan soi ho chang khan engi soi tu kan nei ya discussion hun hong ho kan chu ni lo chuan intan bu ta chua kan ni lo don
Miss, dan so ka lo sai na.
yes
Khi mi ho khi alo ni vek ta ni chuan an ngai tha nga ngai tha lo ta ni ta an lo mu thu thup ang chi hei lan zo ang chi angai ya kai tho ko thei lo soi moi mo kwa kai tho har lu tu ang chi ang khan lo ve chin ta ni chu khat yang chi eng style ni nge chap pe nga eng eng soi dan in ka ka cha nga ta pe team question pa zo pon an chang lo an mu da chwa moi moi ko si lunch break zo ang chi pe ni chu alo ni chin lu tu ta khat yang a khan eng te nge nge chat te man te tu
imo alo lu chui ti de chin thok ro zo mai zo pon tin ma chang chuang lo wa an ngai cha chuang bok sin lo wa na imo
ô hey anh lâu một xóa ngồi có làm gì cái thổ quát thì lâu chung cái lâu không sẽ thì cũng làm gì hả
din tir te enge mo discuss tir ang chi te tingan lunch break so em mo last period hey period shim ana period sabe an ti su last period lunch break so period then ni lo ni so san so lunch break so cha chung kwar ni kan so yan ni so last period so an lo so i vele to shim dang chuan kha khan lo shim to kha ma hu na chuan en tir nan hey an mani involved the activity based on what see the class chuan kha tiang te khan hang thei le chuan du ku sa ma nya cha kan sha de shima second period le third period te kan du ber shin ni chu chan chu mentally inactive lai der ni ta no pang the first period ti chu ei kan la ni kwa wa nge ni kan lo la school la ko ni se kan han lu khom hi chu kan la ni noi ni chu chuan khata khan kan han stable de le ka kan han settle de le ta ha cha second period and third period a big the case school a big chuan ni chu high school le higher secondary to training to chan kan li bangin hey maths te science te subject par hey concentration critical thinking te le san man te na tu ngai chi te pa ni ta ro kan ti chin ta chu ni ni pon ilo in so nge wa mas la second period ke do third period ke do ta kan do hey ati de do tu ta ma se tu hey 20 tu sia ma expert de ho kan chuan second period the third period the high school the school and chuan subject har ho ti me ya har ho kan ti ko me science and maths tu ati am pe nan te kan an hang ta chu ta mi sai de ni zo na aka ru wa chu internal activity based an mani discussion on thei tu ram chi discussion period ani mo collaborative learning and see there explain what the avai ani na mani explain what the explain so that the chuan chu mi so an mani an ti ve thei tu kill an mani an no khom thei tu kill ang chi ho dinan te ko khan mang la chuan in effective zone nei thei class kham mu thu ve kai ko thei pak lo ya class wa na ba ti an chan chuan ma ro chu thei pa to pin kai ko chu tum kho ba wa thei na ro chuan ti na ni chu chuan
Miss Rona ka nei chu ko he Miss Rona ka chuan lesson plan lam ni no sen kai lo ta kin
yes
na ma experience sa tang ko min san ke chuan no pang hin ang lo ko me chen chu hei ron tui sa te no ma tui lem lo ko pui thei hin om ta ni chu ta ka chu thei to choi kan pu ka teacher they are faculty kan ni na kan ha ko ni ka chuan zirti tu rola chuan no pang phagai te ya kan kai soya kan motivate ki chu ai zia ka chuan ani nge me amara chu no pang ti thadu lo hanom ta tu ni lo te kai soi har no chi pha ma phan hey kan kal ve lai kon college te master kan lai kon kan ki lo chuan ki lo ni tok me zirti tu te khan ni gai chan to lo ta chuan teacher kan ni anga kan duty a khan khang kha ni me ro se ti khang e ni a thei tok kan chhonga a top theng kan tanga chu ani ni me ro se ka ti kha ka duty ka hen lo na nge ni anga thei tok ka chhon wa ong siom lo chuan ka ta kha chuan ke ma ni po kha kan thiam ve tho to thau kan ni ti do nge kha ta khan ai chin khang e kan ro tu chen yang ti lai kha kan thil zin yang ka chuan ai kai chu ka che lo chu ka lo 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 fa ni
ที่สุดตาปาส่วนดีพวกข้างไหนก่อนชีนะก็เลยกันกันไล่เตะมาสเตอร์สาขาจ้องกันเรียนเดี๋ยวนี้ตามีผู้ชุดตาก็เลยกันไล่ก็จ้องมีกันเห็นเองตาหนึ่งจ้องคลาสตาจะมีชุดจ้างเตะกันหนึ่งตาจ้างเลยจะมีจ้องคลาสตาที่ยังพิกตะกินให้ English subject ที่จ้องที่ส่งงานหลักที่เขาข้างอันต่ำลุกตุกตาจิตที่ตุกตาขันมินโนร์ของเราเนี่ยจ้ะมินโนร์ว่าลุกตุกเราว่าอินทิเมียนเรานี่นินติเชื่อว่าอามาเราจ้ะไปมานักไงด่านักส่วนจิตที่ตุกกันนี่ข้าส่วนจิตที่กันจิตไล่ที่ข้าอันจะไปขันยิน equal chance equal treatment เนาะข้ามีอะครับกันเต็มตัวข้ากันดิวตี้ข้าคุณตาอามาเราจ้ะข้าตาเห็นประตูปักคลาสกันคลาสอะไรอาเช่นที่จูเมนตุลาที่เมนทอริงกันตีอะเมนทอริงของที่พวกกันตีอะข้ามีอันชัดเจนขั้นส่วนเสียที่ทุกคนอย่างก็ตีเทียก็สู้ก็ตีขัดส่วนก็เสียแต่ไม่อย่างกันเมนตีที่จูอาจารย์ส่วนนั้นที่ชัดตัวกันตัวตาอันนี้ก็ได้มีรีพอร์ตที่ชัดกันตัวsemester exam result ก็ช่วยเปลี่ยนกันเราเป็นข้าพิการนี่ที่เดิมก็เชื่อว่าเนี่ยcounseling กันในบ้านก็ที่ข้างกันแต่ข้างบ้านก็ขัดแย้งกันที่จุ่มเพราะว่าให้ individual แล้วก็นุ่มสุดเลยก็จะหาสารนี่จู่ที่ประตูปีนี้ที่ข้ามีส่วนว่าอาทิตย์ที่นั่งเราเนี่ยก็ส่วนยังไงนะเราก็ติดเกมมาส่วนที่ไม่ยังโม่ที่ติดตัวก็จะ full feel เลยก็ติดขัดแย้งส่วนว่าเป็น mentoring อ่ะที่อัน result ที่พอ introduce ยามาเสียมีประคัดข้าไว้มีไว้ทุ่มไว้ลีเซมิสเตอร์ซึ่งนักของมันเราให้นี่ติดข้ามกันก็อินซูซุยมันเราเนี่ยจูมาเราจูไว้มีแต่ไว้ทุ่มเบลเตอตั้งเวลาที่หันตัวเพย์เขาจะผู้สานขัดแย้งของเราที่ว่าอันนี้เป็นคนโอ้คลาสมันหันมาเจสเตปมัวข้างสิเตปมีเทช้ำเขาจะช้ำมาเสียขัดแย้งจนพวกอันเราติดเราเนี่ยข้างส่วนอันไหนเราเราขัดแย้งต่ำดีนะข้างส่วนมัว
มีเด็กคนนั้นยุคนั้นปีเราวิเคราะห์สารพัดเรื่องส่วนตัวมันส่วนนั้นประกอบ experience จากเรา
เราช่วยเหลือเราได้เลยนะ
เทียบกับมุจนถ้า high school เป็นอะไรที่เป็นอัตราเราเทรนที่รู้ดีอ่ะผู้บริหารมันผู้บริสุทธิ์รู้ดีเลยครับผู้พัฒนาการอันนี้ลำบากชิดลำบากยังสร้างजितना नहीं कार तरह स्कूल दुआया जिल्चुआ को तुम नपास वन मिजो तो क्या ताकि चिराग थया आसिया थया देखा हम आसिया थया अन्य स्कूल की का वन आसिया में बारी इंसान नपको इसे मिजो पार न चुनता का आपको कारसीเป็นอัตเลถึงว่าไม่ก็รำชวนอันเราลงในอีโพลินโปรแกรมอัตไม่ถึงสรุปว่าให้มีสังกัดสกุลที่ก็ถือว่าสมบูรณ์นักวันเกี่ยวกับส่วนปัญหาตำโจสัมภาระเนี่ยปฏิบัติถูกต้องเอกวัจจะอัตติที่คงข้ามการแต่ละหน่วยทีเดียวที่จะว่าสิ่งใดมันสำคัญทุกอย่างมันต้องเข้ากินโดยบังคับหลงหลับตากันอยู่ดูได้อะเป็นที่ไม่รวยเป็นแบบการที่พวกกันเล่าเนี่ยอย่างเอ็นมา avoid la bai to an no ta ni nghe các vị thấy chút cái lắm bằng cái đôi khi về nó bằng hết ba chi về là cái đầu quan ta thì các việc có dự nó phát sản không đâu còn là tập thì cái chủ này áp dụng của quan hàng ngày cũng qua sản các chủ này hay sử dụng bằng cái việc của mình của cô thì các việc relevant cấm các chủ này relevant của mà đấy hàng là tập về phải về cả mình chúng ta cũng bằng cái này là hạt cái 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 training chuộc đất dự kiến tu in các cái nữa là cái cái dự kiến nó nữa là cái nào thì hiện không phải bị sâu ta tôi thấy nó tập tất cả những buổi tham cái mỏ cái số liệu chuyên chẳng làm bằng gì ta chỉ có trong đó mà cái số lượng của anh exam của cái số can số đồ vậy là cái kinh nghiệm cái nào cái buổi tham đó chúng chia với cái ta này các topic thế là tìm relate tiếp khăn nó bị cái staking nó bị cái sai rồi lúc nào nó lại là các chuyệnที่โอมาเขาอันเชียร์ไปกับอันเชียร์ต่อไปเลยเว้ยอันที่ตัวเลี้ยเทียบเทียบเป็นตัวนี้เราถ้าเราต้องตัดคำต่างๆนี่เป็นการ system ก็เลย elementary แล้วการ system นี่เป็นเองการก็ส่วนพวกก็ point ก็เรา point มาได้ที่ก็ลากข้ามเองเสียผู้บริหารก็เป็นอันเด็กของตัวกันคัดเดียวนี่ไล่ตัวไล่เราของตับตะกาฟวงตัวไล่ซึ่งเราของนี้ตามตัวนี้กันซึ่งเราตัวนี้เกี่ยนี่เขาตัวนี้นะเด็กตับตะกากันกันตัวคัดที่ตัวเราอันขาดอันค่อยที่ตัวเอาเล็กเดินส่งส่งตัวนี้ทั้งหลายตัวเลยเราการที่เดียวแต่ที่ experience ของเสียที่มันจะได้รับฟังजिन में कई लोग हैं ना तो हम चर्चा के मन में जुड़ा
Okay, that was a very good and interesting question. Kami pi ka khansuan te ko ka ngai to na kal thui chi na ni chu enga tinge tu la ya kan education system hi Mizoram hi khan ti ya hi no pa ni an ta ka san kan han la ya primary school swap lai high school swap ka an kuma khan lo nan vel po ni se an lak tak na lam le an tinge ya an so na o da na kha a in kha em ta ni chu ti la ya ka ro chu zirtir tu la ya chuan training chu kan pe change train lo kha chu tu na pe chuan in lap tang thal ko ta so ka lai ni central na ma chang yan thal ko me lo ta ki te ong to ta ka ya ma khai ama ro chu khata khan ki ma chuan career ro ka ve chin chu kan zirtir tu te po hi dur thu sam hian kan work ka han kan dedicated to ro amoi o ti na ru ni kan ya tin career ro ka ve ko chu kan moral value để hay cần value system shim bi man lai hai to kan tun la ya yan i ahniam to tin kan work ethics shim i antina kan work culture hi na tinan work education te po kan lo nei chin tang han la ya chuan tang ta tel lo zira he sok ta tel lo zira ka tun la ya chuan a practicality pu ti school a kha hian an om mang hian ya ring lo kha bang rim ta po hian at hiam skill development ti tun la ya chuan kan education system a hian kan nge ni kan introduce na sa talk lo hi chu a chiang ve na ni chu hun tinan hun phia te po an lon kenga mark kan pe nei nge ni bol ho na te po an lon kenga mark kan pe nei a huna khan sian chin ni ma sian chin na mi ala chi tiang me work education period kan nei lo thap tho ma se khatia ang zong so ma ti han kan syllabus te kan curriculum te plus teacher quality for here man la la kan kan tha da ta ni ya so question dan pui the proof of lo so I cannot say that you can tha da zo kha kan ti thei lo research findings of lo so ma se question dan pui chu ni achan chu kan produce zero line kan produce the quality ya chuan ai thau ti ka chu chiang le lo tro kha ka lai ka So, any lesson can akan me ang buho. Just tilok ang atwanin practically kan show doon na so those are the teaching skills, the different teaching skills that a teacher, that every teacher need to possess. So before we move on to the lesson plan, can you please tell me the different teaching skills that we have discussed? And so, look, teaching skills can zero. So, what are the teaching skills that we just discussed? Yes, questioning. We have questioning. Thank you. Yes, self-induction. Yes, reinforcement. Very good. Yes, response management. Yes, stimulus variations. Yes, classroom management. Yes, using board. Yes, closure. So those are some important teaching skills. Ako yung model to kanina so kanman siya. It's one classroom man kan. Model din sa kamo. So let's here. Stop with the teaching skills and again lesson plan so para plan format ay doon yan on someday so look at lesson plan kan yan so it is the blueprint of what the teacher is going to do. So lesson plan kan a teacher is planning the activities or the things that are needed to do before he actually entered the classroom. So that is, we can say that it is a blueprint of what a teacher is going to do. And lesson plan is the teacher's guide for running the particular lesson, and it includes, so lesson plan that's one in, we need to include the goal of teaching, what the students are supposed to learn. Ngayon nung pangtakhan ang 0 to 2 ang goal kasyang patin lesson plan ang siyang tanong how the goal will be reached, how can goal can achieve can reach method and procedure. So teaching method kan saya, teaching skills kan saya ang zong kan goal achieve na kan ni So way of measuring how well the goal was reached. Test worksheets, homeworks. And tinan kan goal kan achieve no siya to kanin. We need to evaluate the students' understanding. So again here, whether the goal is achieved or not, we need to test the understanding of the students. That is evaluation. More evaluation. So banging in tingya kanti by asking questions, questioning. So lesson plan so goal here. Blueprint nita kami kan blueprint classroom makan tilbati tu zong eng tinge kan titu ti kan ziak suaka kan plan lo every detailed activity are included in the lesson plan more. So the goal, the objective, the method, and also the evaluation and the recapitulation part also. So all those things are included in the lesson plan. Simple daw in lesson plan katikan mo siya tanila in lesson plan kan siyang dere yanin min daw siya kaya mo kaya kasi nakakita tayo sa sorry what did you get so nang daw sila
Well, madam, we do this way. We take around 5 minutes and handle that this. In any case, I think what's the time now? Should be around 1:52. In another 8 minutes, we should close. And please see that madam sends across the PP to us. I think that would be a better option. We close this at 2. Okay. Leave aside all those things.
we are human beings. In any class, I think please ensure that the human touch is there. I repeat, the human touch. The human touch means, I'll give you an example. An American soldier in US Marine went to Vietnam to fight the war. Came back unconscious and then was taken to a military hospital. And the military guys, come madam, sit. I think we have done really great. Only request we want to make you is this: if this PPT is made available,
Yes.
then that will be
I
enough.
can give it out.
So, see, listen to this story. The soldier, this US Marine, is unconscious. Fellow is in the hospital. The military top brass ensured that information is given to his mother. The mother comes to that military base. You know what happened is, the mother comes in, the child her son is unconscious, she went and touched. Pretty amazing. You know what comes from that soldier? Mama. That is how powerful the human touch is in Pretty America. Because all this mechanical thing goes nowhere unless that human touch is given. As simple as that. We are human beings. Then the genetic background and see, this year you will have a lot of students from Chindian side. Chindian side means some cases they will not even speak Mizo. Some cases they will not even speak English also. Which means this is not going to be easy. But we don't believe in a system saying garbage in, garbage out. That is not the way we play our game. It is where, no, I repeat, we touch lives. And if we touch life, let us touch it meaningfully. I have the habit of picking Henry more. Henry, again, 10 and 12, if you look at it, I won't repeat the marks, the percentage he got there. But suddenly he went to Don Bosco University and met, I think, a Roman Catholic father. And through that father, the turnaround took place. And I don't think anyone can stop Henry anymore. That is how, because in everyone's life there is something called turning point, onka. In some cases more, some cases less. I'll just give you one method. You know, the best teacher is Jesus Christ. Oh, look at the way he handled the Samaritan woman. Okay? Samaritan woman, from the known to the unknown, a method. Yes, important. From the known to the unknown. Now, in this case, the teacher has to be a learner. Okay? If the teacher expects only the student to learn, then we'll run into a problem. Because we all have to be equally great learners. Okay? I'll pick up any topic, don't go to the book and ask the students, what do you think? Their feedback, their opinion, their suggestion will be at least 3 times better than what you see in the books. Those are the levels of students that we have. Which means the level of creativity, the innovativeness. Right. I'll just simplify. All the gentlemen, can you stand up? All the gentlemen, stand up. Let's close in 5 minutes. All these gentlemen, Badi and I think Sami, just be seated. Out of this, I think Roy, sit down. Okay. Ani the pulpit cuma tu say kat soi to ti tu nge on. Kat chok mo. All the three sit down. Pakat so yang tu kat soi to ti. Baru kui betra. Ano ke tu belum Now, my question to him, listen. He comes prepared from home to deliver a sermon message. You reach the church, do you ever change your message? No. Where's the one? But I tell you, if you really listen to the Holy Spirit speaking to you, there will be times when you have to change your topic. You say, God, what is this? He wants you to say something which you are not prepared for. If you call yourself a believer and you have not gone through this work in the wilderness today, then I don't think you are a believer. There is this Christian work. Okay. I hope you experience a day when you go prepare and suddenly you reach the church and the good Lord says, change your topic. It happens. Because God works in mysterious ways. Oh, anyway, with that note, is there among the participants who want to say a word of thanks like that? Fiona, there was one person who came and they said, Frankie, I don't know. I think both of you sang songs today. Frankie. Anyway, I told him, Fiona will be sitting there on the audience. Any volunteer who want to say a word of thanks? Any volunteer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll count up to 5. 1, 2, 3. Roy. Tambal to kanya na soya nga ito. That is. Word of thanks on soya and people. Yes. We need to check on boy of Namon. Anyway, thank you so much, and we appreciate anyone who has time for us. Your coming means a lot to us, and your availability. Availability, I think, in the eyes of God, in the eyes of human beings, always a very powerful instrument. In fact, sometime in the Bible you have a character called Jonah. Jonah plays a patriotic feeling, the availability too nationalistic. Anyway, I think with that note, it continues. Begin. Now today I must say I appreciate Rothea coming all the way, even in spite of being sick, come and check the supplementary paper. Then he went back, and then with the entire team, around 7 of us, we went there nearby because we have been fighting for space. I think thankfully we went and booked that house, one place where 2 floors we can take it for classrooms. I think it may have to be the senior team who have to take over. And I simply do not like these classrooms to be shared. In fact, that is what we are aiming at. We have 33 classrooms ready, whereas practically we need 40. But then we're trying to see whether we need 42. Okay. I think I'll propose that all of us give a big hand to Madam Mo.
Thank you, sir.
Nilay na soy puro mo. Tro. No,